Greetings everyone, welcome to video number 28 in the project management series presented by Process Geekoid. Today's agenda will be going over reviewing the PMBOK process table as well as the 25th process, which is the Perform Quality Assurance process. This process occurs at the intersection of the quality knowledge area and the executing process group. As always, please subscribe, like, and comment. So let's move forward. So after planning for quality, the next step now is to proactively ensure internal processes are followed to achieve the customer's desired quality state in the product, service, or result that we as a team are intending to deliver to them. This is the essence of Perform Quality Assurance. Most of the time, folks use quality assurance QA and quality control QC interchangeably in the IT world, specifically during software testing as part of the software development cycle. Perform Quality Assurance, or QA, is the proactive approach of making sure that all processes are being followed to meet regulatory requirements or internal quality requirements, which is typically done by an internal audit team or external audit teams such as from firms like McKesson, McKinsey, Deloitte, etc. In contrast, quality control, which comes after quality assurance, also known as control quality, is the reactive approach where once a defect is found during a software project, for instance, and the team will patch the software to mend a bug. This is not desirable as it indicates the process was not audited for gaps accordingly. So control quality is the next process after performing quality assurance. So to clarify, Perform Quality Assurance is the process of auditing the quality requirements and results from quality control measurements to ensure that standard appropriate quality standards and operational definitions are used. So that's the whole essence of Perform QA. You want to catch the error during the process before it reaches the defect in the actual deliverable that you're giving to the customer. You're catching issues as is unfolding versus control quality, where you are fixing a problem reactively and fixing the defect after the fact. Perform QA is happening before the defect is transferred over to the customer. So basically, Perform QA is essentially the process of auditing quality requirements and results from quality control measurements to ensure that standard appropriate quality standards and operational definitions are used to meet for the customer. So the ITTO's inputs, tools, techniques, and outputs for Perform Quality Assurance process are shown here. For inputs, we have Quality Management Plan, which is an output from Plan Quality Management, and it consists of the scope baseline, schedule baseline, cost baseline, and other management plans that contribute to overall project quality. Then you have the Process Improvement Plan, which is an output from Plan Quality Management also. So that's important because you want to implement during this execution process right here in quality, you want to implement any improvements that you might have found during the control quality process or in the audit and implement them the next go around so you don't see that issue again. Then you have quality metrics, and then you have quality control measurements and project documents. So those are your inputs. So next you have tools and techniques, quality management control tools, quality audits, process analysis. So I want to start off with quality audits. So quality audit is the big one. That's the main tool in quality assurance. And it is a structured independent process to determine if the project activities comply with organizational and projects, policies, processes, and procedures. The objectives of a quality audit may include identifying all good and best practices being implemented, identifying any and all non-conformity gaps and shortcomings, share good practices introduced or implemented in similar projects in the organization and or industry, proactively offer assistance in a positive manner to improve the implementation of processes to help the team raise productivity, and highlight contributions of each audit in the lessons learned repository of the organization. Next tool or technique is process analysis, and it is used to analyze the processes in hand and identify any problems or gaps in the process before they carry over in implementation to become a defect in the deliverable we are trying to give for the customer. Process analysis is a proactive approach that follows steps outlined in the process improvement plan to identify improvements and waste in the processes. We can do this through the use of flowcharts. And here we are identifying problems, constraints, and non-value added steps, activities in the process operation. It also includes root cause analysis through the use of fishbone or Ishikawa diagram to find root cause of a problem. And process analysis is a great way to figure out why something went wrong. Next tool or technique is quality management and control tools. This is a combination of multiple tools all in one. So you have Affinity Diagram. It is a like mind mapping diagram where it organizes thoughts on how to solve problems, ideas into logical buckets. Then you have interrelationship diagrams, which are maps that show cause and effect relationships for problems with multiple variables and outcomes. Then you have tree diagrams that just show different paths of what will happen if the quality is not being met. Then you have prioritization matrices, which define issues and alternatives that need to be prioritized for decision items are given a priority or score through the use of multi-voting from ideas gathered during brainstorming sessions. So this is analogous to the nominal group technique, but except you're using a matrix. Then you have matrix diagrams, specifically the house of quality diagram. And that is basically taking in the voice of the customer, where the process of planning new or redesigned products or services designs are traced to specifications. This is similar to the requirements traceability matrix, except now that this is trying for new or redesigned products. You want to take the voice of the customer in place. So this is basically all the factors you need to meet the quality of the customer. So we are making sure through the use of the house of quality, all requirements are being met while executing quality part of the work. Then you have prioritization matrices, which define the issues and alternatives that need to be prioritized for decision items are given a priority score through multi-voting. Then you have activity network diagrams or schedule network diagram. And next you have process decision program charts, PDPC, that is used to define a goal and the steps involved, useful for contingency planning by having countermeasures when a step fails during a process. So those are all the parts under quality management and control tools. And next we have the outputs. So before we go to the outputs, I would like to review the quality management and control tools. So here are all the types of control tools that we have. Affinity diagrams, as you can see, is taking all the ideas from brainstorming and bucketing them into logical groups. PDPC is basically defining a goal that you want to get and the steps involved, useful for contingency planning by having countermeasures when a step fails. So if a step fails, then you're going to go to some other process or box within the diagram. And then you have interrelationship diagraph, which basically shows the cause and effect relationships for problems with multiple variables and outcomes. Tree diagrams just basically break down, similar to a WBS, of the different quality buckets that you might have and different scenarios of what could go wrong. And then you have prioritization matrices, which define issues and alternatives that need to be prioritized for decision or items that are given a priority score, and multi-voting from ideas gathered from brainstorming. Then we have the matrix diagram. As we see here, the house of quality. You can see here that if you meet all of the quality components, you'll have a bunch of positive scoring numbers. And that is the essence of the house of quality, where you take all the requirements from the customer and combine them. And it is a process of planning new or redesigned products or services and use this house of quality to make sure that the requirements are being met. It's really similar to the requirements traceability matrix, and that's basically what you're trying to do with the matrix diagram. Then you have prioritization matrices, which define the issues and alternatives that need to be prioritized for decision items and given a priority score through the use of multi-voting from ideas gathered during brainstorming. Then you have activity network diagrams and process decision program charts, or PDPC, which define a goal and the steps involved, useful for contingency planning by having countermeasures when a step fails during a process. So the output now for perform quality assurance, very important, is you will have change requests, because since issues will be found in auditing process, this will require a change in a current standard operating procedure or organizational process asset to reflect the steps taken to mend the problem. Then you'd have project management plan updates, because now you're updating all of your quality management plans and performance improvement plans, process improvement plans, and update all of that to reflect any changes that we might have. Project document updates and OPA updates. So project document updates are quality audit reports, training plans, and process documentation being updated. OPA updates are basically going to be updates to the procedures, and the project management plan updates are updating the quality management plan, scope management plan, schedule management plan, and cost management plan based on audit results. So sometimes you might have to update the schedule because there could be more steps than you know, and the schedule would have to be modified, the schedule baseline. Scope management plan would have to be changed too, because the scope can change based on audit finding. And cost management plan and quality management plans will also have to be altered to meet audit requirements, because we want to achieve quality and reduce cost. That's the whole point of having those as outputs. Thank you for watching. Hope you appreciate this video. Please subscribe, like, and comment.